Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Shellshocked Podcast here for Episode 2. Today, I have a special guest. I'm with my co-host, Noah.
What's up, everybody? This is Episode 2.5, I guess you could say, right, Aiden?
Yeah, some of the episodes didn't quite make it out to YouTube, but that's alright. We're here for a post-NFL draft power ranking show with me and Noah. We're going to give you our thoughts and how our power rankings stand as of today. Alright, so without further ado, let's get into the video. Yeah, alright, so we're going to go by fives, like our top five and then his top five. Alright, so my top five, I have the Buccaneers at 1. They're the reigning Super Bowl champions, brought back every single starter, had a decent draft, and I like what they're doing. I think they're still going to be number 1. Chiefs, they're number 2, had a great season last year, just came up short in the Super Bowl. They lost their 2 starting tackles, but then they signed some other guys in the offseason to replace them, and I think they'll do pretty well. At number 3, I got the Bills. They're improving. I think Josh Allen will improve next year. And right now, he might be my MVP pick. I mean, I really like what the Bills are doing, and I think that they could possibly win the AFC. Number 4, I have the Browns. They have improved a lot. I like their draft a lot, where they got Greg Newsome and they got Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah with a steal in the second round at pick 52. Baker should be getting better, and Odell will be coming back, and I really like what the Browns are doing. I think they'll be an AFC contender. And at 5, I got the Ravens. I really like their first 2 picks, and Rashad Bateman to give Lamar Jackson some help at receiver, and Away, a linebacker out of Penn State. I think that the Ravens will improve a little bit this year, and they could be a dark horse team for the AFC. All right, now on to Noah's top 5.
Yeah, I think the top 5, really the top 6, aren't really up for debate right now. Alright, so for number 1, I have the Bucks, the reigning Super Bowl champs. I think they're number 1, and Chiefs are 2. I think those could be interchangeable, 1 and 2. Chiefs obviously lost in the Super Bowl to the Bucks. I like Creed Humphrey in the draft, the center from Oklahoma. I think that's a good pick. Number 3, I have the Bills. Josh Allen. I was really high on him last year. I'm high on him this year too. Can't wait to see him back out on the field with Diggs. It's a really good team right there. Drafted Gregory Rousseau. It's a good pick right there. Number 4, I got the Browns. I think the Browns, one of the best secondaries, if not the best secondary in the league. They drafted Greg Newsome. As Aiden said, JOK. And I think the Browns will come out on top of that AFC North division. Number 5, I have the Ravens. They filled a need at the receiver spot with Rashad Bateman. And, so I got the Ravens at 5. Aiden, you can go 6 through 10.
Alright, so yeah, we basically have the same top 5, and 6 through 10, I see that we got some differences. Alright, so at my number 6, I have the LA Rams. They got their guy in the offseason with the trade with Matthew Stafford. That helped them out a lot. They did not have a first-round pick, but drafted a receiver, Tutu Atwell, in the second round. I think they're just going to improve even more this year, and they could win the NFC West and possibly make a return to the Super Bowl. Number 7, I got the Colts. They got Carson Wentz in a trade in the offseason. I think he'll do a lot better in Indy, much better situation, like who they drafted and signed. But and Michael Pittman, a receiver, I think he'll make big strides. But it really relies on Carson Wentz, and it's like ride or die on him. I mean, will he step up and be an AFC contender, or will they not do so well? It all rides on him. Number 8, I got the Titans. They did lose Jonnu Smith, but they signed Bud Dupree. He's a great edge rusher from the Steelers. And they didn't lose a whole lot, but I think they'll maybe decline just a tiny bit, but I still think they'll be a top team in the loaded AFC. I got the Seahawks at 9. Russell Wilson isn't happy there, but they're still a good team. They always find a way to be above 500 team this past decade. I think they're still going to be a good team, be a NFC contender since they're not as good as the AFC. I think they can do well. Number 10, I got the Saints. Obviously, they had that cap situation, but they handled it very well, and they did lose Drew Brees, but it's time to see what Jameis Winston can do. I think they'll decline a little bit, but not too much because they still have a very good roster. All right, here you go, Noah.
All right. So for 6, I also have the Rams. They're just a great all-around team, great offense, great defense. I think Matthew Stafford's an improvement from Jared Goff. I think they could cause some trouble in the playoffs. So, number 7, this might surprise a lot of people. I have the Cardinals at 7. They signed some big names in this offseason in J.J. Watt, A.J. Green, and I like the draft pick Zaven Collins. I think him and Isaiah Simmons. Oh my gosh, sorry guys. Isaiah Simmons could be a great linebacker duo. At number 8, I have the Colts. This is another well put together team, kind of like the Rams. Pretty good offense and defense. I like the draft pick in Kwity Paye. Carson Wentz, he's got a lot to prove this year as he takes over the starting position. I think the Colts pretty good team. So number 9, I have the Seahawks. Even though they have made pretty much no improvements this year, they're still, as Zane said, a really good team, especially with Russell Wilson. But I can't have them any higher than 9. Number 10, I have the Titans. I like the Bud Dupree. We saw what an impact he made on the Steelers last year, because after he went down, so did really the Steelers. So yeah, that's my top 10 right there. Aiden, you're up next. Folks.
All right. Number 11. This is where I put the Cardinals. Great offseason, getting J.J. Watt and A.J. Green. People don't think they're big moves, but I think that they'll do pretty well in Arizona. Kyler Murray will get better. The only thing is Cliff Kingsbury, not the best head coach. What will they do this season? I'm really anxious because they started off well last year and then collapsed in the second half. All right, number 12, I got the Dolphins. A lot of people I've seen think that the Dolphins won't do as well. I think they're only going to improve. They had a great draft, got Jalen Phillips and Jalen Waddle. Signed Will Fuller as another receiver. Tua should get better in his second year. The defense is great. Xavier Howard had an amazing year last year. Guys, this team will get better. All right, at number 13, guys, I have the LA Chargers. They're a team on the rise. Justin Herbert, amazing season last year. Got a steal in Rashawn Slater at pick 13 to boost up the offensive line. Have a great defense. They fired Anthony Lynn. Hired a new head coach. Don't know how well he'll do, but can't do much worse than what he did with them, with all that talent. But, yeah, I like the LA Chargers here at 13. Packers, I put them at 14. See, the Packers, it's pretty much a done deal now that Aaron Rodgers is not going to return to Green Bay. If he had returned, I'd have them top 5, but losing Aaron Rodgers, he was the MVP last year. That is a big blow. The Rodgers, he was their best player, no doubt about it. And losing them, that's not going to be good because now they got to throw in Jordan Love, and we'll see what happens. 15, I got the Washington football team. They won the garbage NFC East last year, but they're on the rise. They're improving. Made some great signings in the offseason. Drafted Jamin Davis in the first round. Was a little skeptical at first, but seems like a decent pick. I think that they're only going to get better. And that's my 11 through 15. Here you go, Noah.
So at number 11, I have the San Francisco 49ers. They're getting all their injured players back, and even with Jimmy G, or if it's gonna be Trey Lance, they're still a really good team that can definitely make the playoffs. That NFC West though is completely stacked. The Rams, Seahawks, 49ers, Cardinals, they all can make the playoffs. At number 12, I have the Dolphins. They had a good offseason, good draft. Drafted Jalen Waddle, Jalen Phillips, and they signed Will Fuller this year. So that should mean Tua can only improve from now. And I feel like he was getting a little bit too much hate from last season. I think Tua, he's gonna be a solid quarterback next year, and that's and their defense is really good too. Number 13, I have the Chargers. The Chargers are really happy Rashawn Slater just fell to them. He's definitely the second best offensive tackle in the draft beside Penei Sewell and Justin Herbert year 2. This Chargers team is good. 14, I have the Vikings actually. The only thing with them last year was their defense, really, and with that defense, with that division, that division's up for debate right now. You know, the Packers are probably gonna lose Rodgers. The Bears, they've drafted Fields. That was a good pick. So that division could really go to anyone. So, but I think the Vikings will come out on top. They signed Dalvin Tomlinson and Patrick Peterson to help them with that bad defense of theirs. At 15, I have the Packers. The Packers, they pretty much lost Aaron Rodgers. They're still all around a pretty good, solid team, but it just, they had a pretty bad offseason. They didn't really make any improvements, and they lost Aaron Rodgers, so definitely a big decline from last year.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there, Noah. Alright, at 16, I got my Steelers. We're probably going to decline because Big Ben, he last year wasn't the best. He's probably going to get worse. We lost Bud Dupree and Mike Hilton. We did draft Najee Harris, which I like, but I wanted us to draft a lineman in the second round then instead of getting the tight end, but it's alright. I think we'll decline a little bit, but I still think we'll be a team around 500-ish. 17, I got the Vikings. They're returning a lot of defensive starters like Danielle Hunter, Eric Kendricks, Anthony Barr, but I just really am anxious to see how they do because I think that they have the pieces to be a playoff team. I just don't know if they can do it, but we'll see this year. 49ers at 18. I'm a lot lower on them than most people. They're returning all their injured players, but Jimmy Garoppolo, he's not that good. And you don't know how all these players will be after an injury. Like Nick Bosa tore his ACL. But we'll see how they do. I'm curious to see how they do this year. At 19, I got the Cowboys. They're going to be around 500, maybe a little bit below. Their defense is still awful. They couldn't get a cornerback. They got Micah Parsons, which is still a good player, but couldn't get anyone in the secondary to help them out, really. And then their offense, they're still good. But you don't know how Dak Prescott will come back from that broken ankle injury. But I still think he'll do better. But we'll see. I don't think they'll be that great. At 20, got the Giants. They made some good moves in the offseason. Got Kenny Galladay. Saquon will be coming back. Who they signed? They signed Adoree Jackson, cornerback. Their defense is pretty good. They're getting better. But the thing is, Daniel Jones, I think he is absolutely awful. Nah, I think he's pretty bad. He's a bottom 5 quarterback in my opinion. This is his final chance to see if he's got what it takes to be an NFL starting quarterback. If he does pretty shit this year, then he'll be out of New York real quick. That's my 16 through 20. Here you go, Noah.
So at 16, I have the New England Patriots. They're running with their 2 tight end set again. Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry, 2 real good tight ends there. They also signed Nelson Aguilar. And they drafted Mac Jones, Big Mac. But for now, it's looking like Cam Newton's going to be a starter. Still think this team's all around solid team. They got a good defense. Now they have some weapons this year. This last year, they pretty much had no offensive weapons. So I think 16 is a pretty good spot for them. They got an easy schedule too. So at 17, I have the Saints. Obviously, at the end of the season, they had a little bit of a cap space problem, but they kind of got that cleared up. They lost Drew Brees. He retired. But, honestly, I think Jameis Winston could be an increase from Drew Brees because I don't think Drew Brees played that great last year. And I do think that Jameis Winston got a lot of hate on that season where he threw all those interceptions. But, I think Jameis Winston, I think he's a solid quarterback. I think he deserves to be a starter in the NFL. At 18, I have the Steelers. They lost some people this year, definitely. They drafted Najee Harris to try to boost their run game, which was pretty much non-existent last year. So I got Steelers at 18. At 19, I have the Washington football team. They made some good moves this offseason. Got Curtis Samuel. They drafted Jamin Davis, who could be great. I think that they're probably the front runners right now to come out on top of the NFC East, but it's really hard to tell between them, the Giants, the Cowboys. But yeah, I have them at 19, and right below them, I have the Giants at number 20. I really liked what they did this offseason. They made some moves. They signed Kenny Galladay, Kyle Rudolph, John Ross. They drafted Kadarius Toney, and I like that Azeez Ujulari pick right there. I think that was a steal. But this offense, Daniel Jones has got to improve with all these weapons. Can't see why not. I think that if he does, then they're gonna win the NFC East. But if he doesn't improve, then I think it might be a tough season for them, despite all their weapons.
All right. At 21 for me, I got the Chicago Bears. They're not that bad of a team. I did not like the move where they cut Kyle Fuller. That did not make a lot of sense, but they had a great draft. Got Justin Fields. I don't know if he'll be a huge impact guy year 1, but further down the line, I like Justin Fields on the Bears. I like the Bears going forward, but this year, Raiders at 22. Did not have the best draft. Took a huge reach on Alex Leatherwood in the first round. Could have gotten him in the second round. Not a good pick. They lost Nelson Aguilar. They signed Kenyon Drake, but didn't really need him because they already had Josh Jacobs. But still a decent pickup. I don't think they're going to be the best this year. pretty mediocre team. Got the Patriots at 23. Cam Newton is still their quarterback. He was not good last year. I can see them improving, but there's just so many good teams that I just think are better than them. I can definitely see them improving. They made a lot of moves in the offseason. Like, I like the Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry signings, but they overpaid for a few guys that I didn't think they really needed. Got the Panthers at 24. They had a phenomenal draft. They got J.C. Horn in the first round. They got Terrace Marshall, I think it was, in the third round. A receiver at LSU. I got Chuba Hubbard, running back. I think the Panthers still. They got Sam Darnold too from the Jets. See how he does in Carolina, but I think they'll be okay this year. Not the best still, but we'll see. We got the Broncos at 25. They have a pretty good team. They'll be returning Cortland Sutton and Von Miller. Patrick Surtain. It didn't make a whole lot of sense because they signed Ronald Darby and Kyle Fuller, but still a good pick. He's a good player. But the thing is, Drew Lock is still their quarterback. He is awful. They need to get a new guy at under center. And at 26, I have the Atlanta Falcons. Still not that good of a team. Their defense is still horrendous. They drafted Kyle Pitts, who is like one of the best players in the draft. I like that. Matt Ryan, he'll always put up big numbers. Still have a pretty good offense, but the defense has major questions.
21, I have the Chicago Bears. All right. At 21, I have the Bears. They traded up to get Justin Fields. This is they got a good defense. But only 21 because they do only have a rookie quarterback. They've had O-line struggles, and but I think this team could be good next year. 22, I have the Dallas Cowboys. I honestly don't think the Cowboys had the greatest draft. I mean, I know you can't be mad with Micah Parsons, but they didn't get Patrick Surtain or J.C. Horn. They needed them, I feel like, and they didn't get either of them. So, what's good is, though, that they did trade back and get Micah Parsons, but that defense is still really bad. The offense is obviously really good. Dak returned from the injury, but I can't put them any higher than 22. At 23, I have the Carolina Panthers. I think they arguably had the best draft in the NFL. J.C. Horn, I think he's the best corner, best rookie corner. Terrace Marshall, I like that pick, and Chuba Hubbard, I think he's really good too. Good secondary for Christian McCaffrey. At 24, I have the Raiders. They lost a lot of players this year, and they had a horrible draft. The Leatherwood from Alabama, that was a huge reach, and that was just not a good pick at all. You drafted a guy in the first round who could have got in the third round, and I don't even think he'll do good in the NFL. So, yeah. At 25, I have the Falcons. I think the Falcons, well, I mean, you can't be mad with Kyle Pitts, but, a tight end at fourth. I mean, don't get me wrong, Kyle Pitts is generational talent. It's just that this team is not going to improve so much from last year, but I think they'll just go 25. I think they're just one of those teams. 26, I have the Broncos. The Broncos, as Aiden said, they're a pretty good team. They just got Drew Lock as their quarterback. I like the pick with Patrick Surtain because it screwed the Cowboys. That was really funny. But then the Eagles kind of screwed me a few picks later. So Yeah, so I got the Broncos at 26, and Aiden, you can go 27 through 32.
Yeah, at 27, I got the Cincinnati Bengals. There's been this thing where they are no longer the worst team in the AFC North. I still think they are. I'm not being biased in this, but I mean, they didn't get that much better. Jamar Chase is a good pick. Didn't get any offensive line help. Joe Burrow will be returning, but I don't know. He's got good weapons, just not the best O-line. The defense is awful. They signed Trey Hendrickson, but they lost Alvin Tomlinson, and it's like they didn't really improve at all there. I forget if they got Mike Hilton or if that was the Browns. If they did, then they improved. If not, then the defense is still terrible. Either way, if they have him or not, they're bad. I got the Jaguars at 28. They're going to improve a little bit with Trevor Lawrence and the guys that they signed. Travis Etienne, not the best pick, but I could understand because they had 2 picks in the second round and 1 pick that was 5 or 7 picks later, something like that. So, but still not the best pick. 29 of the Texans. I'd have them dead last if Deshaun Watson doesn't play. They are absolutely terrible. If Deshaun Watson does play, they won't be dead last, but they are not a good team with or without him. I got the Jets at 30. They'll improve a tiny bit. See how Zach Wilson does. I'm interested to see what he's going to be thrown into that awful situation. They did sign Corey Davis, which I did like, though. But, yeah, they're not a good team anymore. The Eagles, I have them at 31. They regress a lot. They got Devontae Smith, which I like, but Jalen Hurts is not a good QB, and they're even trying to say that they're not committed to him, and they might throw in Joe Flacco, which is not good either. Their defense has major question marks. O-line, not good. They are not a good team. I got them at 31. And then dead last, it's the Detroit Lions. I love the Penei Sewell pick a lot for rebuilding in the future. They got rid of Matt Stafford, brought in Jared Goff in that trade. They're going to be absolutely terrible this year. They lost Kenny Golladay. They are the league's worst team right now.
All right. At 27, I have the Jaguars. They took the obvious first pick with Trevor Lawrence. I also drafted Travis Etienne, who I think could be the best rookie running back. But I don't know, that's kind of a weird spot for him. The Jaguars had James Robinson. But yeah, so I got the Jaguars at 27. At 28, I have the Bengals. They drafted Jamar Chase, and maybe they should have went with Penei Sewell, but Jamar Chase, as I said again, you can't be mad with Jamar Chase. He's the best receiver this draft class, a bunch of people think. I also think that too. And he's reunited with his teammate Joe Burrow. 29, I have the Eagles. They drafted Devontae Smith. Jalen Hurts, his second year. This is pretty much like his rookie year, though. He didn't play too many games last year. And I don't know. I just think that this is a competitive NFC East division, and I see them at the bottom of it. And, yeah, so I have the Eagles at 29. At 30, I have the Lions. I think they're stepping in the right direction. They drafted Sewell. He failed to them. So, they're still 30, though. They got Jared Goff, which is probably not an improvement from Matthew Stafford. But, yeah, the Lions, yeah, definitely not. Lions at 30. 31, I know this might surprise a lot of you people, Probably not, though. It's not too far from where they should be. I got the Jets at 31. A bunch of people really like Zach Wilson. Personally, not a huge fan. I think last year was kind of his, like, I'm not saying it was his only good year. I mean, it was definitely his big improvement year, but that was the year where they played absolutely nobody. And I don't think he was the second best quarterback in this draft. So I mean, they've made some good picks though. Elijah Veer Tucker, Elijah Moore, like they're, as I said again, they're still in the process of rebuild. That's not quite done yet, so I have them at 31. At 32, at dead last, I have the Houston Texans. This Watson scandal, I mean, he could play. Even if he does play, I can only see the Texans, like, moving up a few spots. This team's just got, like, little to zero talent. It's just not a good team. And hopefully Deshaun Watson plays. I really like Deshaun Watson. I know Aiden does. He likes Clemson. So I mean, hope everything works out with him. But as I said again, the Texans are just awful.
Yeah, alright. That's going to wrap up this video, podcast episode 2. Thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode.